China for our businesses, having economic foothold in Africa based on their loans, and the fears that these things could actually become part of another recolonization. We also know that Russia too is having a lot of impacts in Africa with what is happening in West Africa, where some African countries have aligned with Russia. So for us, this election is very important for us, and looking at who will favor us most. And I've seen a lot of discussions on whether it's President Trump that is coming back, and whether it's the Democratic candidate Hillary Kamala that is likely to win the election. So it's a very tight election, and we know that what will determine the outcome is what happens in the 7 swing states.
Okay.
Whoever wins 4 of the 7,
which are
we are talking of Arizona, Nevada, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and I think which other one again. So whoever wins those states will actually, 4 of the 3 states will emerge as president.
47th president of the United States. But now, go on.
We also look at demographics. The Kamala is, people see her as an immigrant, and
she's been claiming to be black, even if we the real blacks are down here.
It's Jamaican stroke India.
I think it's about 5% Jamaican. Yes. I think it's mostly Indian.
So that then of course you know that Donald Trump is white, and
he's also an immigrant.
He's also an immigrant, but those are those who came in early out crossing the Atlantic by boat to a Newfoundland called America, and of course, everybody is an immigrant because we all started from somewhere. The only thing that differs.
No, I don't think. Are you an immigrant?
Everybody is an immigrant. Every human being is
Where did you come in from Cameroon? No, I didn't come in from. Did you come in from Cameroon?
That's what I tell my Lagos people.
This is the motherland.
That's what I tell Lagos people.
Okay,
all of us are Lagosians, but its only difference is time of arrival.
No, but then we don't have. There's nothing like the Lagos citizenship, is there? Do you become a Lagosian?
No, there are Lagos citizens.
Oh, really? So automatically you become a Lagos.
Those probably who came in first are the indigenous.
This one is intercountry.
So the same thing with America too.
Yeah.
People migrated there. They met the Americans, the aborigines there. Some say some of them, they are still existing. So it's all time of arrival. We don't even know where there was a time the whole world was in one place before the continents started splitting, and the oceans and all the rest. They say another ocean is coming up in Africa.
Okay.
So to create another continent. So the theory that we all came from the same place and then started splitting is also. So the truth is that Donald Trump has some edge because of the fact that he has been there before, and we can analyze some of the things he has done.
Yeah, and he's winning with the black community in the US.
And it's also...
And the men.
So those are things that... And then the non-white communities too, we know their demographic status, because when you are talking election, democracy is... Because it's a game of number. It's like it's like a referendum. So, and it takes one vote to win in all situations. So, to me, I believe that the whole world has seen what Donald Trump could do, and I also believe that he has learned a lot of lessons. And then, of course, what we need to know about America democracy is that there are a lot of institutional controls. So what you talk to win election is different from what you experience on the ground.
Okay.
So, and that is what makes their own democracy unique. For instance, look at what America has stood for after all the wars, is that they have actually used those institutions to create global peace. And we all know that...
Global peace with some question marks.
Well, the world cannot be
because
totally
we're not sure exactly
free.
if, You know, some people would even say the US is just playing Godfather, like round the world, you know, going to points where you're probably not invited, like imposing yourself. You haven't heard that theory before?
I know.
Yeah, definitely. So there are also theories like that, that, you know, they go out imposing themselves as father of the world. It's like you're father of the world. But now, Prof, let's focus on the economic policies of Trump. We'll start with that one. Some of his, you know, during the campaign, he talked about some moves he would make economically. Some experts have said that Africa remains very least on U.S. foreign policy agenda.
Yes.
They are not even paying a lot of attention to us. But given that, you know, we are the 14th biggest oil exports, and, you know, there are some trade agreements that I want you to go over. So how does it now affect us? How, you know, analyze some of Trump's policies that you're up to speed with, and how you see it playing out?
Well, the major plank of Trump policy is actually trade liberalization. I mean, he is believe that America must defend itself, even though you want a global world. And what that means is that America first for itself. I mean, the economy of America is central to whatever you want to do. So the implication of that is that AIDS and all the rest, he may not support it. And then that also, the implication of that is also, he believes that, which is what we are also looking at, that every nation must develop given its own potential. And then you must also look inward. And I think that is the lesson we must learn from the Trump agenda, is that, look, try and develop yourself. You cannot perpetually depend on aid. So if you don't develop yourself, you know, it's like the begging syndrome. You continue to beg. So, and you need to see what you need to do to be able to grow your economy so that you can be competitive. But in fairness to Trump, AGOA, which is African Growth Opportunity Act, which was enacted by Obama, was never abrogated. In fact, he implemented it to allow imports to come in from African countries, textiles and all the and that agreement will expire in 2025. So it's important. And I don't see Harris or even Donald Trump abrogating it, because they have realized that, I mean, allowing free trade, concessionary trade to go to United States of America is more beneficial than pumping it aids. Because if you learn to grow your economy, and then it definitely helps you to build a sustainable growth. And I think that is a major thing that I think is going to stand. Then the trade with us too. With Nigeria, the major trade we have with them is petroleum. And we also know that even Dangote refinery imports crude petroleum from US to process. So, and because they produce about 50 million barrels of crude oil per day, so, and they produce various something. So that is important for us too, because now that we want to expand our crude oil production to surpass OPEC quota, we need a partnership with a country like that that have capacity to absorb and process for global sales. Then we also import a lot of wheat. Nigeria is not from the United States. So for us, it's also important that we have that trade relationship. So the key element to me is a Donald Trump presidency will favor international trade, which is also essential for our growth and development as developing nation, as tropical countries. Of course, we know that tropical countries have their own challenges, and then, of course, but that's the major elements of the administration, because in defending America and growing America, we can also learn from that, that we need to grow our country. No nation will develop our country for us. And the African continent is in between the Russian, the Chinese, and United States influences on security, on food and on investment. So, and we also know that in all this relationship, everybody has its own limitation. The Russian relationship, you find out that they are concentrating on the Sahelian states and trying to bring in some ideological issues. The Chinese people, their interest is to give you loan, pump loan on you, and then you become perpetually dependent. Then the America is, look, do business with us. And I think their method, I think, is still, out of the three, you still find out that there are a lot of differences. And so we are interested in what's happening in America as a developing nation. But AIDS will also, you know, there are some areas where we need AIDS, actually, for research, for development, and then there are some highly challenged African countries where even they need food aids. Then security is the most important thing, curbing the insurgencies that is coming from the Sahel region that is almost enveloping the whole of Africa. So we need a leader who can also help to minimize those insurgencies that they are now trying to use Africa as a hub. Because of the from the Middle East, they are now in the Sahel region. And Sahel region is a good target because they have a lot of governed spaces there.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of ethnic tension, religious tension. So the African nation needs a president, a strong president who can find a solution to this.
Okay, that's America now.
Yes.
Okay. And the strong president would be Trump, that is.
What? That is the implication.
Trump is assertive. You know, Kamala Harris has displayed a lot of, well, if we're going to look at the personality, let's just keep it at the economic,
Yes.
parts of it. But now you've talked about the trade relations and potential shifts in the trade policies that could affect or impact Nigeria's access to the U.S. market. You mentioned that. Now let's talk about investment and development. How might changes in U.S. investment policies or development assistance programs impact Nigeria's economic growth?
Well, the way the United States invests in developing countries is different from the way Russians or Chinese people invest. And you see most of the American investment in the big companies and all the rest. And that is, so we need those things to happen because most of the big companies in the world that the Google in this world, the Amazon, the Monsanto, even they are all, they have some linkages with the American, United States. And yes, they have, the only challenge we are going to face is that Donald Trump believes that those investments should be in America and they should not export labor. They should not export, to other parts of the world, which is the philosophy of American First. But what does it do to a developing economy? It's also, if those things happen, we cannot perpetually rely on those investments as African nation. We need the support,